Hey y'all, it's Crystal. Welcome back. Thanks so much for stopping in. Today is another installment of Why Haven't I Read This Book Yet? And today we're going to talk about horror. Horror books that have been sitting on my shelf. Some for just a little while, but some for a long time. And why haven't I read them yet? Again, I don't know why I am the way I am, but um, but yeah, I like to buy books and then just sit them on the shelf and never read them. It seems. But so when it comes to horror, of course, there's a lot of horror I've not read. You know what I mean? It is. It is a favorite genre, but there's a lot. There's a lot to read. I have a lot of horror that I want to read. So these are just a small sampling, really, of ones that really, when I was looking through the shelves, gosh, I'm like, oh, I need to read that. I really want that one. Why haven't I read this one yet? So these are kind of the top. I don't know, maybe there's a dozen here or so. So let's dig into it. Now this one was a more recent purchase, but when I picked it up and put it in the cart, when I found it at the used bookstore, I was like, oh no, I'm going to go home and start this and read it. And I didn't. And that's Drawing Blood by Poppy Z. Brite. Why didn't I read this right away? I don't know. Because I loved Exquisite Corpse so much. And I need to read more by this author. So why haven't I read this yet? The World's a Mysterious Place. And this series is a trilogy, and it's been out for a little while. Let's see, when did this come out? 2009. And I've got all three of the books. Haven't read them, but the book one is The Strain. And it was made into a TV show too, which I never watched, but it's Guillermo del Toro and Chuck Hogan writing this one together. It's a vampire type story, possibly like a viral story. I'm not really sure. I don't really know what it's about, really, but a contagion come to an unsuspecting city, unstoppable plague that will spread like an all-consuming wildfire, lethal, merciless, hungry, vampiric. I mean, it sounds pretty great. A little hefty though, over 500 pages. I've only read Nosferatu by Joe Hill. Got several of his books, including this one, Heart-Shaped Box, which I think one of his earlier ones, right, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't read it yet. Been sitting on the shelf for a couple of years. Giving you the smoky eye there. Yeah, I haven't read this one. Is this the one that's about music? I don't know. Yeah, I haven't read it yet. Embarrassingly, I've not read this one, A Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. I don't know why. Why haven't I read this one yet? I think this one's about to be turned into a movie. So now I have to read it because I want to see the movie. But it sounds so good. It sounds so good. Why haven't I read this book yet? I know pretty much everyone that's read this one loves it. So, and this one, I bought this hardback. I was so excited to pick it up. I was gonna read it right away. I didn't. It's Sorrowland by River Solomon, who I love. I love Unkindness of Ghosts by River Solomon. And so I need to read everything by this author. Saw this was coming out. It's got mushrooms on the cover. I think that's mushrooms, or possibly just a flower. I don't know. It sounded so cool. Very gothic kind of sounding story. With monsters and stuff. Look, I don't even know. I don't even really care what it's about. But there it sits on the shelf. Have you read this one yet? Let me know. This one may be even more thrillery, but The Return by Rachel Harrison. When I heard about this book, I wanted to read it right away, so I bought a copy of it. It's this nice pink cover. Why haven't I read this yet? I know it's like a group of like girlfriends. One of them has disappeared for a few years, and then she returns, but she like is not the same. Something's going on. Sounds so cool. Now this one has been sitting on my shelf a couple years too. I brought this thing, I think, brand new. Paid full price for this one. It sits on my shelf. I don't know. I think I'm nervous about this one because I feel like I maybe won't like it. So I'm kind of nervous to dig into this one. Let me know. More on the gothic tip is Jamaica Inn by Daphne du Maurier. This one sounds great. We've got like this old house on the Cornish coast. So this girl is going there. It's called Jamaica Inn. So from her first glimpse on that raw November eve, she could sense the inn's dark power. She never imagined she would become hopelessly ensnared in the vile, villainous schemes being hatched within its crumbling walls. Sounds amazing. I loved Rebecca. It's the only thing I've read by du Maurier so far. But this one's sitting on my shelf. I need to read it. I've had this one for a little while. I've had this one for a couple of years, I would say. What's this? Oh. A Courtyard Marriott receipt in the middle of that one. This was a thrift store pickup. But that's Parasite by Mira Grant. It's another it's a medical thriller. There's no actual blurb on. I can't remember now what it's about, but I can't remember now. There's obviously a parasite involved. Slightly chunky though. But I really enjoyed The Mermaid book by her. Same with that book. You know what I'm talking about. And so I've been wanting to read more by Mira Grant. I haven't read it yet. Now this one, I don't know. It's kind of comedy, but it's Apocalypse Cow. It's been out for a long time. This is by Michael Logan. I think it's Zombie Cows. I think. When did this one come out? 2012. So it's been out for a few years now. It began, with a cow that just wouldn't die. It would become an epidemic that transformed Britain's livestock into sneezing, slavering, flesh-craving, four-legged zombies. And if that wasn't bad enough, the fate of the nation seems to rest on the shoulders of three unlikely heroes: a slaughterhouse worker, a teenage vegan, and an inept journalist. It sounds zany, sounds fun. Zombie cows. I mean, I don't know. I haven't read it yet. A few more. My books are just falling all over the place. Okay, this was another one that I was really excited when I first got it. I still haven't read it. This came out last year, I think, involving the whole kind of satanic panic era. It sounds amazing. I've heard good things. I haven't read it yet. So Whisper Down the Lane by Clay McLeod Chapman. And actually watching the new Stranger Things that kind of deals with that whole satanic panic era. Bringing that into the storyline, it really made me want to read this one a little bit more. So, this is a Shirley Jackson I haven't read. The Sundial sounds really cool. But yeah, I need to read that one. I need to read more Shirley Jackson just in general. And this is just another one that I bought that I knew I would read it right away because I love Brian Boyer. And I was like, I'm going to read this as soon as I get it. I know I am. I just want to, yeah. And I haven't yet. It's still sitting on the shelf a couple months, I don't know, a month or two later. And I haven't picked it up yet. Maybe I'm waiting for autumn. Maybe that'll be more appropriate. I don't know. I know I'm going to love it though. And lastly, maybe most embarrassingly, Books of Blood by Clive Barker. I've never read any of the Books of Blood. I've got this volume here. It's a newer issue because it's got the Hulu thing on it. Man, this is volumes 1 through 3, but man, I haven't read it yet. Why haven't I read these yet? These are like classics of the genre. Clive Barker. Why haven't I read that? So yeah, I need to get on it, doggone it, as they say. So yeah, that's some of the horror books. I don't know why I haven't read them yet. Why haven't I read them yet? Let me know the horror books that are just kind of lingering on your shelf that you haven't read yet, that you can't explain why. You don't know why I haven't read them yet. Let me know. And of course, have you read any of these? Which should I add, prioritize? Which one should I really get to next? Like, you really should have read this by now, Crystal, so add it to your next TBR and just read it. Let me know for sure, because I need to read these books. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Till next time. Bye, friends.